March Madness is here, guys. The Sweet 16 in action this weekend. FanDuel is giving you the chance to get in on the action like never before. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when their first $5 bet wins. That is $200 extra bucks to use on everything from buzzer beaters to Cinderella stories. You can even pick who's going to cut down the net. With tournament games happening almost every day this weekend, there's always something excited to bet on. Just visit FanDuel.com/UCSS and get in on all the college hoops action all tournament long. Guys, opening day.
Yes.
Guardians versus Royals.
Yes.
Bull, the floor is yours. We can talk. We're going to focus on today's specific matchup in this first segment. But where do you want to start? The pitching matchup?
Yeah.
The magic of opening day?
Yeah.
Wherever you
How
want to
about
go,
this?
take it away.
It's going to be 80 degrees in Kansas City.
I saw that. Whoever would have dreamed 80 degrees in March.
The Guardians will start. They only have really in their this long. They have a 9-game road trip to start the season, and only one game is potentially bad weather. The Sunday game in Kansas City, because they play today, then they're off tomorrow, then they play Saturday. It's supposed to be really nice both days. Sunday's going to be cold and chance of rain, but then they go to the Padres. There's never bad weather in San Diego, and then they go to the Angels, and there's pretty much never bad weather in L.A. So before they come home, the home opener is the 8th. Against the White Sox here. It's a week, 12 days, so you got a while. Hopefully, it could be 30 or 80 that day. But great weather to start, which is good. I love this pitching matchup. We'll get to that in a minute. But, yeah, I mean, opening day is special. It is special for me, probably for Jason, who's a big baseball fan. Tyvis, is it special for you?
Yes, it is.
Okay, good.
Yes, because at heart, I'm a baseball player at heart, if you didn't know that.
Really?
Yeah.
I know you played baseball.
Yep.
Well, I like that. Good. Because it's about –
expert.
I think baseball is about families. It's about going to the game. It's about watching the game. I think back to being a kid, listening to the game on the radio was always fun. Baseball, more than any other sport, is a sport that, and I love it, so I don't mean this as an insult, but it's a sport that you can have on in the background more than any other sport.
Yeah.
You could do other things while you watch a baseball game. You go to a football game, you're like locked into the game. In baseball, you could have a whole conversation while watching the game. And there's something fun about that. Now, maybe it hurts ratings a little bit or whatever, that people find it boring. I never find baseball boring. I love that baseball is back. I love that we will not have, outside of a couple of days around the All-Star game, there's not going to be a single day without a sporting event I care about for the rest of this year. So, that's exciting to me. What's the most exciting thing for you guys?
Summer's around the corner.
That's
Start of baseball season means.
Yeah.
You a fast forward guy?
No, I'm tired of the winter of Cleveland.
Yeah.
Let's get on to, especially now with the Cavs being good, like know what's coming. You got NBA playoffs, the Masters are right around the corner. So for me,
April 9th.
as much as I love baseball and as much as I love opening day, it's also signals what's to come. And we got a whole summer of fun and the kids being out of school and all that. So I love baseball. I love what today represents, and I love what's coming around the corner.
Opening day for me is exciting because with the Guardians, particularly with the Guardians, I don't know what to expect, and I like that. I like to come out into the season because every time this is an off season, we always talk about the lack of moves they make, and then boom, they had a season that they have last year.
Yeah.
And now going into this season, it's I don't know. It shouldn't be good. But I'm eager to see if they are going to be good or if they still make some magic happen. So for me, I want to see what it looks like post Josh Naylor. I want to see what it looks like without Andres Jimenez in there. I want to see this new lineup that they're going to have. How are these guys clicking? Are the bats hitting? Obviously, we got to wait until they come back here to see if they still do hit these home runs. Because last year, it was everybody came and was just smacking home runs at Progressive Field. So I want to see if those things still hold weight. To me, I'm excited to see this team and see the identity of this team. The one thing about the Guardians for however long I've been watching them is they do not give up. I mean, it's been some exciting 8th and 9th innings, and I'm expecting to see those same things even though they've lost some good players.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys this real quick. We're going to get into the pitching matchup here in a second between Bibee and Ragans, a good pitching matchup. But the Guardians have not announced their starting lineup yet. It'll come out, I'm guessing, during the show at some point. But as of 11:12 this morning, we haven't seen.
That's not unusual.
Not necessarily. I mean, the game doesn't start till 4. So
no, I know. That's what I'm saying. Let's predict. What do you think their starting day lineup should be.
Well, I'm telling you this. Remember last year, Austin Hedges started on opening day. We may see that again today because it's a lefty pitcher.
Yeah.
So we could see, this will piss a lot of people off, Nolan Jones, Kyle Manzardo, and Bo Naylor all on the bench. Now,
I think Nolan and Manzardo for sure.
I don't want it. I was saying this in the Guardian show. I want Nolan Jones and Manzardo facing lefties. Now, you want to sit them against Ragans. You want to sit them against Skubal. I can live with it, the best lefties. But those guys, especially Manzardo, but I think both of them, I would play them against any mediocre or worse lefty and obviously every righty. But I think today we're going to see John Kenzie in right field.
Yep.
Yes.
We're going to see,
Home
you know what?
Home run. Put it on the parlay.
We're not going to see John Kenzie in right field. We're going to see John Kenzie at DH.
That's fine.
We're going to see Rodriguez in right field, I think, who's going to be the 26th man. And we're going to see Austin Hedges at catcher. That's my guess.
That could be. Yeah, that's probably. And in terms of where they bat in the lineup, I don't know.
So the lineup, I think the normal lineup, I think we're going to see Manzardo and Nolan Jones hit 4 and 5 or 3 and 4 maybe.
3 and 4 maybe.
But I think today, obviously you're going to see Quan and Jose 1 and 2.
Yep. Who do you put 3?
Lane Thomas.
Yeah, probably.
Carlos Santana.
Thomas 3, Santana 4.
Santana 4. And then John Kenzie 5.
He's running out of names quick.
Where's Rocchio?
8.
I think he's going to bat 9th, actually, and they'll bet Hedges 8th. I think they like to have a little speed, a little buffer
bottom.
before the top. So I think we'll see John Kenzie 5th, and then we'll see Arias and Rodriguez 7, 8, or 6, 7.
What's your thoughts on Arias this season, Jason? I think
this is
his last chance.
Weren't you high on him last year?
Yeah, he's got a cannon for an arm. He's got a lot of.
Is he
power
playing
in his bat.
shortstop or second?
Second base.
He's playing second. This is his last chance.
This is what I would do,
Rocchio
Jason.
shortstop. He's at second base.
Second.
This is what I'm doing if I'm the Guardians. I'm playing Gabriel Arias every day for 6 weeks.
Absolutely.
6 weeks, pretty much every day.
Yeah.
This is it. He sinks or swims.
You have to make a decision on it.
And if he's batting 170 with 2 homers after that 6 weeks, that's it. I'm done with Gabriel Arias.
Yeah.
Next guy.
And you DFA him and you bring up
Yes.
Brito or you
That's
give
right.
it to
But I'm giving him a solid 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
Every day. We'll take him in and out of the
Is
lineup.
he the only one on thin ice for you in the lineup?
I mean, he's the one that's the most pressing
Yes.
decision has to be made
Yes.
on
Okay.
of the regulars that are
I
playing
think
right
we're
now.
starting to, there may start to be questions about Bo Naylor if he doesn't have a good year. But we're not at that.
there
We're not
yet.
at that point. We're at the point where if Arias is terrible, he's not going to be on the roster.
Who's playing center field? Oh, Lane Thomas.
Lane Thomas. Mm-hmm. Quan in left and then a timeshare in right. I think Nolan Jones is good enough to play every day.
Hey.
Yeah,
Hey.
I think we'll see Nolan
Hey,
Jones
hey.
and Manzardo play most of the games.
No. We need to see John Kenzie in right field.
We're going to see John Kenzie between right field and DH against the tough lefties. And that's why I think he's going to pitch today because Cole Ragans is one of the best
He's
lefties
one of
in
the best,
baseball.
yep.
So is Tarek Skubal from the Tigers. But if it's just a regular lefty, I'm letting those guys play.
Skubal going up against the Dodgers today.
Yeah, well, we'll get into all the rest of it. But the pitching,
let's talk about the pitching matchup.
yeah, it's a
Bibee
great
Ragans.
pitching matchup on paper. I mean,
Who is the edge?
Cole Ragans.
Cole Ragans has been the better pitcher, but not by much. And so I give him the edge at home.
I do want to see.
But if I told you Bibee was going to be better this year than Ragans, I mean, you wouldn't be shocked.
I wouldn't be surprised by
I
that.
want to see his stuff because I remember last year he was talking about how Tanner Bibee just got this stuff, and I was watching him pitch a couple of times. Well, obviously a lot last year, and I was just like, I see it. Like maybe it's sometimes where he get hit around early.
Yeah.
But like when he settles in, he's a really good pitcher.
The key for me is he's got to put guys away. When he
Bingo.
gets ahead in the count, stop screwing around and wasting 3, 4, 5 pitches.
Yeah.
Was it last year he got challenged at the mound before he got put and they didn't pull him? Was that last year?
Yeah, they let him work through a situation or two. Yeah, I want to see him get deeper in games. He's the opening day starter. He's the ace of the staff, at least for right now.
Just got paid.
Yep. You got to get into it's certainly through the 6th into the 7th.
So
that's what more times than not.
So he's going to get a Cy Young vote.
He better.
I think he will this year. And Jason's right on the money. Tanner Bibee's issue was he'd get to 2 outs in the 5th or 2 outs in the 6th, and he'd run into trouble.
Yeah.
He'd try to get too cute. I know you've lost I know you've lost Jimenez, but you still have a good defense behind you. What you learned as a young pitcher eventually is I can't strike everybody out. Sometimes young pitchers, they want to strike everybody out. Sometimes you got to just make a good pitch and let your defense make the play behind you. And he's got to do a better job. This is what is going to take him from good pitcher to Cy Young caliber pitcher.
Yep.
He's got to do a better job of getting that third out efficiently. I would love to go through it. I bet you there were a lot of innings last year, especially 5th and 6th, where he got the first 2 outs in 6, 7 pitches, and it ended up being a 20-pitch inning.
Yeah.
And if you do that twice, that's an extra 25 pitches.
You just cost yourself an inning.
At least. Maybe 2. So that's the next step in his development.
And again, it's not necessarily fair because there was a lot put on him probably before he was ready for it.
Yeah.
Life's not fair. That's the situation they're in.
Yeah.
That's what's expected of him.
He's capable, Jason. If he wasn't capable, we wouldn't expect it.
He is capable.
At which which part of this series do we see McKenzie out of the bullpen?
I mean, it could be at any point.
Yeah, I mean, it depends how the games go. You want to get everybody in there as soon as possible.
Okay. So we will see him at some point in this series.
You'll see him in the series,
Yeah.
I would imagine.
Not starting, but in the bullpen.
I don't know that we'll see him I don't think they want to put him into a high leverage situation.
No.
Like ideally, it's the 7th inning. The Guardians are up 8-0. Let's get an inning for McKenzie. Let's see what he does in this situation. But they're not going to trust him in a high leverage situation until he shows he can be consistent with his command.
That makes sense.
In terms of Bibee, just curious. I know it's the opening day, first game of the season. There's a lot of restrictions on pitchers early in the season.
Yeah.
If you get 5, is that a win for Bibee today? Is there a pitch count? Is it innings? How do you think?
No,
it's always pitch. It's always pitch count.
Yeah, I mean, for opening day, I would take 5. I'd like to see if he's efficient. There's no reason he couldn't pitch 6 today.
He's not going over 100 pitches.
No.
Probably 90 to 95.
Right, but if you throw 15 pitches an inning, that's 6 innings.
But
that's 90 pitches.
I'm looking more at the pitches than the innings. I don't think he gets past 95 pitches probably at most today.
If there's 2 outs in an inning, maybe.
Let him finish it off.
That'd be it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you told me he pitched 5 good innings, I could live with it. I'd love to see him go 6 today.
Especially as we get deeper into the season.
Yes,
as
sure.
These guys get hot as they...
Right.
He's got to get deeper into games.
Yeah, I mean, like by the summer, I want to see him consistently going 7. Right? I can't at this day and age. I'm not asking for more than that.
Right.
But I'd like to see him consistently at least get into the 7.
It's only one pitcher I think I even recall going into the 7th, and that's Scooble last year.
They pull guys earlier and earlier.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
I think you got it the second time, getting into the 7th. If you get
right.
6 1/3, 6 2/3.
Right.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
But, this 4 1/3, 4 2/3, 5 1/3, he's got to be better.
Right. Well, listen, I mean, the bullpen got overtaxed. Their 4 best guys last year pitched a lot. They're going to – I heard Chris Antonetti say that they kind of started all 4 of those guys a little late in spring training because of how much work they did.
Yeah.
He says they're all where they need to be. But
they throw an inning. They don't need to be stretched out
right.
like starters.
And I just think – that's going to be one of the keys to this season is making sure those guys don't get overworked 2 years in a row.
Yeah, and yes, they were probably overworked a little bit during the season, but I just think it was the playoff usage.
Yeah,
really blew them
and that
out.
happens. Managers get desperate in the playoffs.
And that's why I think the Seawald signing,
yes.
We didn't spend a whole lot of time on it, but that could pay huge dividends if that's another big arm with closer's experience who you can trust in high leverage situations to take that from 4 to 5 guys.
Yeah.
That's a really big difference in October, if they get to October.
Yeah, I agree because Seawald's a legit back-end relief pitcher. I wouldn't even be shocked if Clase needs a day off if they made Seawald the closer. Even though it seems like, it should be Gaddis or Smith because they've been so great. But Seawald has that experience.
And then you're not disrupting the roles of the other guys.
Exactly, those guys. One other thing on the pitching staff, and I mentioned this the other day.
Take your time. As much Guardians as we can today.
Yeah.
Take your time.
I mentioned this the other day, but you weren't here, Jason. And I think the makeup of how they ended up with this bullpen. Do we have the graphic of the roster or no?
No, but I could get it for you real quick.
No, it's all right. The fact that they have
Joey
McKenzie, Cantillo, and who's the third long guy in the pen?
McKenzie, Cantillo, and Junis.
And Junis, all in the pen, I think it's their way of saying, hey, we need some guys that can go extra innings, especially early in the season. I think that's part of because they didn't really have guys like that last year in the pen. You got three guys that are starting pitchers or have been starting pitchers.
A lot of
in the pen.
As starters.
A lot of experience, and I think they did that. I think that's part of it is Sabrowski's hurt to start the season, but Andrew Walters wasn't hurt, and they decided to send him down. I think they wanted some guys that can give them distance in the pen and take the pressure off some of their key relievers early in the season, at least.
Yeah, and I in the high minors, I don't know if there's a ton coming from a pitching prospect. Like they're sort of here. Their top guys are here.
To be relievers?
No, starters.
Oh, pitchers. Oh, yeah, they got nothing really.
So if they need, like, if Logan Allen doesn't work,
right,
it's probably Cantillo or Tristan or Junis who's coming next.
Right.
So you keep those guys stretched out a little bit while they're up in the bullpen. Then it's an easy switch if you need to make a move. If Allen isn't up to the task. He's another guy that's probably at the end of his
Yeah, I was about to ask you about that. Like Logan Allen.
Logan Allen's probably at the end.
When was the last time it's been a pitcher that's been under like that type of pressure that actually delivered?
I don't know if he's the fifth starter.
Yeah.
He about to be out of the lineup. He done got sent to the minors.
Yeah, but I mean, all those guys feel that sort of internal pressure. But in terms of team pressure, they're not counting on Logan Allen for.
No.
They're counting on Tanner Bibee and Gavin Williams.
Is there? Do you see a world where he becomes like a good pitcher? Like,
Allen?
Yeah.
I mean, sure. I mean,
it depends what you mean by good.
Like he could be a third. Could he be a third pitcher?
I don't.
I think he's a 4 starter at best.
I could see.
So could he transition to the bullpen?
He's
not. A lot of failed starters make great relievers, but he's not like overpowering. I don't know to what you think. He doesn't fit that mold to me.
Okay.
To me,
he is what he is.
He's a back end. He's either a back end starter or he's a minor leaguer. Or that's what he is.
Okay.
So can he pitch to a 4 ERA? Can he give you a 4.10 ERA with a 1.25 WHIP? I'll take that from a back end starter.
Yeah.
With if he can do that, like I can't have a 5.50 ERA.
Right. I mean, to me, at least in the American League, the teams that are best at developing pitchers are the Guardians, the Rays, and the Mariners. So if he can't cut it here, I don't know where he's going to go.
Right.
That's going to make him better. Like now, if you take a failed prospect or whatever, not that he was much of a prospect, if you take a failed starter from another team and bring him to Seattle, Cleveland, or Tampa, you look at him and go, okay, well, they can figure it out. Like they're going to mix.
Well, look at Ben Lively last year.
Ben Lively's a great example of that.
They're banking on Sassoni to do that.
They're banking on what?
Slade.
Saccone.
Oh, Saccone.
Yeah.
Well, I don't.
He's got to get
healthy. Fair to him, he hasn't pitched enough in the majors, but
he's got to get.
But he hasn't been good when he has been in the majors.
But they're good at tweaking pitch mix, tweaking. Don't throw this, throw this.
Where did Matthew Boyd go?
The Cubs.
2 years, $29 million.
You were obsessed with that.
I can't believe it.
Thanks to the Guardians.
Last question on today's game, the opener of the season for the Guards. We're going to do some over-under player props in a little bit. We're going to do some division odds later. But, Tyvis, we'll start with you. Go around the horn. One thing you're specifically looking for in today's in today's season opener for the Guardians.
Oh, definitely hitting. I mean, that's the biggest question mark. As G. Bush, if G. Bush was here, he'd say, we ain't got no sticks. You got rid of Josh Naylor, blah, 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 blah. So to me, it's definitely going to be the hitting. I just want to see if these guys are able to put some over the fence. I don't know if that will be the case or not, but if they do, I'll be very happy. So the hitting is the number one thing that I'm looking forward to today. It's
101-62. I'm not going to get worked up over anything, but if you're going to make me pick something, I want to see Tanner Bibee against the Royals lineup. They got a good lineup. Bobby Witt, best player in the American League.
They got a good top of their lineup.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
You keep going on about this. He thinks their lineup is
overrated. Jay said their lineup was fantastic. I'm like, they got Perez, Pasquantino, and Witt are excellent, although Perez is old. Who else is so good in there? Who's their fourth best hitter? Jonathan India?
I think Massey's pretty good if he stays healthy.
Jonathan India.
I mean,
second baseman to get 20 home runs, I'll take it.
I would too.
He's a guy.
He has to stay healthy.
Take an outfielder who
Jimenez is going to hit 20 home runs.
I mean, this is a big year. We don't want to get lost in the weeds on the Royals, but this is a big year for MJ Melendez. They've had a ton of hope in him.
Right.
He hasn't delivered to this point.
They're top of the. Although Pasquantino, I don't know if he's definitely playing today. He's banged up.
I think he is. I mean, we'll know in the lineup.
Yeah, he's not going on IL, but I'm not. They weren't sure if he was going to be ready to play.
They've got a big time hitter in their minors, first baseman that'll probably be up at some point this year.
Well, he was drafted second last year overall, right? Third, second. Oh, sixth?
Yeah, he was sixth.
Yeah, Condon was.
I think the other teams are going to regret letting him get to sixth. But go ahead.
Listen, I don't think the Royals are the Yankees lineup of the great days, but I think it's pretty formidable. It's better than it's probably not better than the Twins lineup. It's better than the Guardians and the Tigers lineups.
He ain't
I
really.
would take-
He was arguing against.
I would take
that.
the Royals lineup over Cleveland.
He
and
said the
Detroit's right
Tigers
now.
lineup is overrated.
The Tigers lineup stinks.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think. Yes, on paper, in terms of their proven top end talent is better than the Guardians.
Yes.
But top to bottom, I'm not convinced it's going to be better than the Guardians.
I'm really bullish this year
Yeah.
on Rocchio and Naylor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, if those two guys are good, then the Guardians lineup could be better than the Royals.
I'm there on Rocchio with you.
My hope for Brian Rocchio is that he's batting second by June 1st or thereabouts.
Well, I like Ramirez in the 2-hole. I don't.
That's your bold prediction.
I like Ramirez back in 3.
Yeah.
You got
More
to
at bats at 2.
What's that?
More at bats at 2.
Yeah, but who's batting behind him? Is the
Did
big
they
thing.
implement-
I care about who's batting behind him more than I care about.
If Manzardo has the season we could have, then he's batting 3rd.
Did they end up implementing the rule where you could put the guy in at any time?
No.
Okay.
They're not.
But what are you looking for today?
I mean, Jason said it. It's 101-62, but Tanner Bibee's first start coming off the contract extension, and we've talked about it. Looking for him to take the next step as a starter. Does he feel any pressure? We may disagree on how good the Royals lineup is, but there's no disagreement about how good the top of their lineup is. So, yeah, I mean, seeing him navigate Bobby Witt Jr., Pasquantino, a veteran in Perez, I'm looking forward to seeing him get, maybe 3 shots at those guys.